Good day, viewers. Welcome to a new day, to your favorite program, The Conversation, coming to you from TV 360 here in Lagos, Nigeria. My name is Nelson Ekujumin, and I have here with me in the studio, Comrade Razak Kolade Lokoba, RKO. Comrade Lokoba, you're welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yes, in this edition of the program today, we're looking at some issues. And the top of the bill for our discussion this day is the ongoing debate around the minimum wage between the federal government, state government, organized private sector, as well as the organized labor. We have seen that the tripartite committee submitted its report some weeks back, and Mr. President was supposed to look at it and send a bill to the National Assembly in that regards. But Mr. President, in his wisdom, said he wanted to consult the more. And we are one drawback of the whole issue of the national minimum wage is this attention on the national minimum wage as if is the responsibility or is the issue between the federal government and the organized labor, as though the states don't matter, as though the organized private sector don't matter. Because as we speak, I'm very much in the know that the organized private sector is saying they cannot pay even 60,000 naira minimum wage. That is a tall order for them. And the states have come out repeatedly. And even some states have said, look, allow us to go and negotiate our minimum wage. Don't decree any minimum wage. And people are like, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as if President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will pay the minimum wage for every worker in every sector. So for me, I think it is important for us to educate our viewers, to make Nigerians know that this is what the law says. And the issue of the governors, you know, some governors have come out to say they cannot afford that money. And truly, between you and I, if you look at the revenue of the states, you know that it is very, very difficult. It is impossible. Because even as we speak, just yesterday, news broke that workers in Abia State wanted to go on strike over the inability of the state to pay the 35,000 naira wage award. You know, that even the 30,000 minimum wage, the state is in arrears. And even as the minimum wage is in existence, is still the one signed in 2019 by former President Muhammadu Buhari. A lot of the stakeholders have defaulted.
But it's the conclusion of Nigerians that the president is giving so much attention without consideration to states and businesses, owners, and other stakeholders is because of the responsibility that has been assigned to the president, that his policies and laws that has been given to him is so much that he will use it to influence anything, either political or economically. So whatever he does, they have the opinion that he will also provide a soft landing for the state. That's the assumption.
How sustainable can that be?
That's the assumption. But I agree with you that it shouldn't be so. The missing link is that there must be a clearinghouse between the federal government, the state government, and the private sector. And the clearinghouse will first determine how do our workers survive? How can we manage their welfare? That is where business owners will also be considerate in how they fix prices for their commodities, particularly rent, transportation, the food people eat. That clearinghouse will be the first place to determine that. The moment you now do that, that's when you now proceed. That what is the befitting minimum wage. But that has not been done since 1999. And that's why we are dragging labor back to it. That no. Tell me one time when when salaries has been increased, that it didn't mess up the salary of workers.
The value didn't dissipate.
In 6 months.
Yeah. Even it's not even up to 6 months.
Of course.
Immediately there's an announcement of minimum wage, everything will skyrocket.
And there's a report by an agency of the government which says that there are 70% of Nigerians who seek for means outside their own conventional salary to survive. begging, maybe corrupt practices, maybe, you know. And then what is responsible for it is basically because their salaries are not enough.
Because
and
of the
proceed to say that,
indices
yes,
that takes away
yes,
the salary.
and they proceed further to say that this time around, if salaries are increased and you don't address
transportation,
that's
accommodation,
this client will put in, they say we should put in place. If it's not addressed, the rate at which prices of commodities will increase, we may have to go back to drawing table for another increase again. So, which means that our appeal to the tripartite committee is to
no,
pay
the committee
attention.
has done its work. It has submitted its recommendations.
In addition, we are telling the president to give them that in addition.
Okay.
They have to meet again that man shall not survive by bread alone. Man shall not survive by the paper money alone. It goes beyond the paper money you are handing over. Paper money is just an instrument to convert the effort of somebody into your need. What's attached to it, we have to decide it at that level that you have recommended. That is very important. If we don't do that, we are doing a great disservice to workers in this country. I mean, I'm an employer of labor too, and that's my own concern too. That once that is done, no producer will be willing to sacrifice the prices of his own goods.
Because the goal of a businessman is to make profit.
But if it is universal, when you bring patriotism on board, that stop pursuing profit in a manner that will decimate the country, people will agree if it's going to go round. But if it is only landlord that will bring his own price down, his children will go to school, his children will enter transport and buy food. So it doesn't begin with landlord. It doesn't begin only with transport owners. It doesn't begin with only one sector only. It's a thing that has to be done in conjunction. So our federal government, who is the strongest stakeholder in this matter?
Who is like the fighter figure?
Yes, he has that influence to bring people on board to do that. You can't do this thing alone. This part control we are talking about, we can't do it alone. Labor, in fairness, cannot do it alone. They have the largest blame on this matter, because this kind of discussion, they are supposed to be the one to bring it up in conjunction with the civil society. But we parted way with them when we discovered that what they are concerned about is only the salary increase, which gives an impression that, is the deduction that they're after. They are actually not after the welfare.
The check of this.
Yes, the money check of the deductor. So we parted ways with them. So, but we can't blame them too much because they can't do it alone. It must be done with the knowledge of the government and the private sector. Private sector has a very, very central role to play. But they will not play that role if there is no sign or body language from the government that will complement it for you. Like farmers now. When farmers say that, okay, price of commodity, I know. If I want to sell the money, the effort I put into it, nobody will buy yam. Nobody will buy rice. But can they be tax-free? Can there be subsidized electricity for me? For farmers? Can you give me free access to water?
Can there be access to tractors?
Yes, tractors. Can you pave the way to farm for me? Can you secure
accessible roads?
Can you secure the environment for me to do my cultivation? So
business.
all these things, if you do that for farmers, price of commodity will go down. So in the sector, so that's the assurance you must give them to that. Rent too, what can we do for house owners? That many landlords are converting their houses away from regular rent because people don't pay. The money design is that you have 1 year to pay. So people relax. At the end of 1 year, people don't have the psychology that must pay every month, which is not the model all over. So you look into rent too. Then transportation too. Lagos is doing enough in that regard, which I think other states need to copy that model. Put an agency in place to put up partnership with private origin
businesses,
so that transportation will be easy. So if you do all those things, you then come out and talk about salaries. But when it is only about salaries alone, you are messing the workers. And we are creating more problem for the people. And I think the president has more knowledge in this direction. Only that the people around him didn't take his attention to. That's what we are doing now. Because I know what Asiwaju did between 1999 to 2007. The model they put in place, the salary structure in the state today is the best. And that's not because he only increased salaries. There are staff quarters. There are subsidized transportation. There's eco-farming, which the skeleton was covered up by Fashola, now by Sanwo-Olu, that has transformed into motorized. So he did all those things. So we need to remind the president of all those things. So he has a lot in his end because of what he's doing. So it's a long process.
But this issue about what the president did as governor, you and I know very well that these are rules assigned to states by the Constitution. You talk about agriculture, for example. The federal government does not have land anywhere. The only authority the federal government has over land.
And what we are saying is that, on this program, me and you agree that the president needs to give state a matching order.
No, he cannot. He can only advise. He can't give them a matching order.
When you are in a crisis moment, don't you recognize we are in a crisis moment?
No.
People on the street begging for food.
Under what authority would the president give a matching order? That's what I want to know.
Because the authority is side with the people.
That the people say the president should give them matching order.
Yeah, because
as Democrats,
there's a call.
Don't forget. You are one of those who advocate that we should not make. Can I bring this up?
There's a call on social media.
Yes.
There's a call by institutions and stakeholders that the president needs to declare a state of emergency on food.
Of course, absolutely, he has done that.
And if you have done that, that's part of the mandate. He needs to call.
He has done that within the confines of the law.
I'm not saying that he will prefer just like what the governors are doing to local government fund. That's not what we are saying, though.
No.
But he must bring up a program where state will be if that's the language you want me to use, where state will be encouraged.
That's more civilized. That's more democratic language to use.
Every state must be known to be producing one crop or the other. Either it is yam or fish. And so if he does that, he won't stop at that. He will encourage NOA agency, the media, and the civil society to build the argument around it so that state governors who are recalcitrant about it will be compared by their people.
Yes,
so it will not appear as if it is the president that is instructing them to do so. It will appear as if it emanates from the people. So that's the point we are making, that what he has done in Lagos is an example and a model that you can ask other states to also emulate.
Okay, I agree absolutely with you. There's nothing more to add. You have spoken my mind, and I thank you for that submission.
Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is where we want to call it a wrap on this first stanza of the program. We'll go on a short break. We'll be right back. Please continue to watch the conversation coming to you from TV 360 here in Lagos, Nigeria. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.